This is WION World is One Speed News. Massive protests have rocked Israel after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu sacked country's defense minister Yoav Gallant. Netanyahu fired the minister a day after Gallant criticized the government and urged a halt to highly controversial judicial reforms in the country. As news of dismissal spread, tens of thousands of protesters took to the streets across the country, many waving Israeli flags. Police used water cannons to push protesters back from Netanyahu's residence in Jerusalem, while in Tel Aviv, where hundreds of thousands have taken to the streets since the beginning of the year, protesters lit a large bonfire on a main highway. Around 3 months since taking office, Netanyahu's nationalist religious coalition has been plunged into crisis over the divisions of its flagship judicial overhaul plan. United Nations nuclear watchdog chief Rafael Grossi and his IAEA team departed Vienna to head to the Russian-held Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in Ukraine. It will be his second visit to Ukraine. Last September, he went there and established a permanent presence of IAEA experts. Grossi is pressing for a security zone to be erected around what is Europe's largest nuclear power plant, with 6 reactors, which has come under repeated shelling over the past months. Russian troops occupied the facility early in their invasion of Ukraine, and it remains near the front line. Both sides blame each other for the shelling. Russia has struck a deal with neighboring Belarus to station tactical nuclear weapons on its territory, President Vladimir Putin has said. Putin added that the deal will not violate non-proliferation agreements. Now, according to him, Russia will have completed the construction of a storage facility for tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus by July 1st, adding that Moscow would not actually be transferring control of the arms to Minsk. Additionally, Russia has stationed 10 aircrafts in Belarus capable of carrying tactical nuclear weapons and had already transferred a number of Iskander tactical missile systems that can be used to launch nuclear weapons. Russian President Vladimir Putin, in a televised interview, said that Russia and China are not creating a military alliance and are hiding nothing in terms of their military cooperation. Putin also said Western powers are trying to form more global alliances, accusing the United States and the NATO of starting to build a new axis, which he says bears some resemblance to Germany, Italy and Japan's World War II alliance. North Korea has fired 2 more ballistic missiles into the sea off its east coast this morning. Now, according to South Korea's military, this is the latest in a series of launches amid military drills by the United States and South Korea. Japanese Coast Guard has said the missiles most likely landed outside its exclusive economic zone. Japanese media say missiles flew at an altitude of 50 kilometers and covered a range of 350 kilometers. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has arrived in Ghana, which is the first stop of her 3-nation tour of Africa. The visit is part of a diplomatic push by the Biden administration to deepen ties with the continent amid competition from China and Russia. Harris is accompanied by her husband. After their stay in Accra, Ghana, they will head to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania and Lusaka, Zambia. The diplomatic trip will end on April 2nd. Yemen marked 8 years of their war against Saudi-led coalition. Thousands of Yemenis rallied, chanted slogans and raised rifles in celebration. Yemen has been in civil war since 2014. This war has turned out to be one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. Iran and Saudi Arabia reached an agreement earlier this month to restore bilateral relations, reviving hopes of a political settlement to Yemen's conflict, where the 2 regional powerhouses are engaging in a proxy war. However, an escalation in fighting in the central province of Marib took place this week. The Palestinian Foreign Ministry has accused Jewish terrorist elements of an arson attack. The ministry alleged the attack took place against a Muslim family in occupied West Bank on Sunday. Israeli police, however, have countered the claims. The fire was the result of a short-circuit accident. Tensions in West Bank have been running high as Muslims marked the holy month of Ramadan and they clashed with Israeli forces. German NGO Sea Watch captured visuals of the Libyan Coast Guard firing around a migrant dinghy. The video was taken in the Mediterranean Sea by a reconnaissance aircraft belonging to Sea Watch. The video showed 80 migrants to be on board. Impact craters were seen briefly in the water near the migrant boat. The organization also, the Libyan Coast Guard, has been harassing rescue ships in the area. More than 100 migrants who were safely rescued arrived at the southern Italian port of Bari on Sunday. Around 190 migrants were rescued by Doctors Without Borders vessel Geo Barents off the coast of Libya early on Friday. People from Bangladesh, Pakistan, Egypt, Eritrea, Syria and Palestine were rescued from a wooden boat approximately 20 hours after they departed from Zawiya in Libya. Many of the rescued migrants sang songs and listened to music during navigation as they waited to reach a safe port in Italy. Munich airport was ghastly quiet on Sunday ahead of a nationwide strike that will bring much of Germany to a standstill as thousands demanded higher wages. Union leaders are justifying the massive strike planned for today as a matter of survival. The strike, Germany's largest in decades, is expected to cause widespread disruption on railways and at airports in Europe's largest economy. It had already started at Munich airport on Sunday, where the departures board showed multiple flight cancellations. China established diplomatic ties with Honduras on Sunday after the Central American country ended its decades-long relationship with Taiwan, while Taiwan's foreign minister accused Honduras of demanding exorbitant sums before being lured away by Beijing. The ending of ties comes after Honduran foreign minister traveled to China last week. Country's president said her government would restart ties with Beijing. Taiwan now only has formal diplomatic relations with 13 countries, most countries in Central America, the Caribbean and the Pacific. The Indian government has ordered fresh drills in hospitals nationwide to counter a potential COVID-19 wave in the country. Healthcare workers were seen checking patients for the virus across all hospitals in the country. Administrators confirmed the drills were being conducted to ensure healthcare infrastructure did not collapse if another wave was indeed imminent. India recorded 1,890 cases on Sunday, which is highest in 149 days, while the active cases have increased to 9,433. The anti-drug police and the Peruvian prosecutor's office seized 2.3 tons of cocaine that were going to be sent by ship to Turkey, hidden among a shipment of Mayolica tiles. The seized drug remains in the custody of the police's anti-drug division to continue the corresponding investigations. In 2022, Peruvian authorities seized more than 22 tons of cocaine. Peru is one of the world's largest producers of cocaine, with some 400 tons per year, according to official figures. Cubans began voting early on Sunday for the 470 lawmakers who will represent them in the country's National Assembly. The election is closely watched as it is seen as a referendum on the communist-run government at a time of deep economic crises. Cuba's government, saddled by shortages, inflation and growing social unrest, has encouraged unity in Sunday's vote, calling on citizens to vote together in a broad show of support for the communist leadership. Let's talk about the effects of climate change now. A powerful storm tore through the United States state of Mississippi, leaving at least 25 people dead and numerous damaged buildings. Homes were reduced to rubble, tree trunks snapped like twigs, and cars strewn across the roads. One of the worst hit areas was the town of Rolling Fork, where the water tower lay twisted on the ground. About 26,000 people had no power. U.S. President Joe Biden has approved a federal state of emergency declaration for Mississippi. This will provide additional funding and aid to supplement local efforts. More than 500 firefighters backed by 20 planes and helicopters are battling the fire 4 days after wildfires broke out 4 days before in eastern Spain. The wildfire has sparked a mass evacuation of locals and tourists, leaving 4,000 hectares of forested land scorched in its path. Fire tourists have been told by the officials to keep away from raging blazes, saying onlookers were putting themselves at risk and disrupting efforts to quell the flames. Heavy rains flooded streets of city of Najaf in southern Iraq on Sunday. Cars, shops and workplaces were submerged in water because of the unexpected downpour. Several families were forced to leave their homes in the Al-Amir neighborhood, which was worst hit by the floods. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.